The Wars need to win 6 of 9 to make 16 wins. As I said, Brisbane 7 of 8, Penrith every single game remaining. The odds, the mathematics have to favour the Warriors here.
Everyone's going on about it's not in the spirit of cricket and all
What
this. And
spirit of cricket?
Exactly. We're all like, there is no such thing as the sport.
I've been cheating since W.G. Grace picked up a bat.
Exactly.
If we're looking at the last 4, the metrics say, as we always look at the top 8 and go, you need 13 wins pretty much.
Well, in 2021, 10 wins got you 8th. In
I
2022, 13 wins wasn't enough for the Broncos to finish 8th.
Welcome to the DSPN.
Team New Zealand's in trouble.
He's done it again, Ricky Herbert.
The Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
Welcome again to the podcast, people. Martin Devlin and producer Lachlan Waugh presenting the DSPN. Thank you so much for all the views yesterday on the DSPN YouTube channel. Keep hitting that subscribe button for us, please. We're over 8,500 subscribers already. Try to get to 10,000 before the end of the year. It really does help every time you give us a little click. Thank you so much for all of the comments too. Hundreds and hundreds of comments. We'll get to as many as we possibly can, trying to reply to them all. And we'll throw a whole lot into Feedback Friday comment corner coming up at the end of the week. We'll take a break from the All Blacks today. We'll be back on Thursday, team naming day. But it's NRL chat today. Dean Lonergan going to join us. He played professional league in both hemispheres. Where are the Warriors at? 9 games to go. The Broncos looming large as far as that top 4 is concerned. Panthers there as well. So I'm about to explain all of the metrics and the optics for you shortly. Lono with his thoughts on it. Matt Gunn as we play a good old round of glass half full with our Bulldogs, mate. And the top 5 returns today. 5 topics du jour as far as sport is concerned. If you're listening on Rover or wherever you find your favourite podcasts, welcome. You get the whole show and we chop it up a bit here, just to give you a little bit more time to peruse as you choose on the DSPN YouTube channel. We begin the show the same way every day.
Marty Sermons brought to you by WebWonks. Generate online leads with WebWonks. Doctors for your Google data.
We live in an amazing, amazing world, and it's wasted on the crappiest generation of just spoiled idiots.
All right, NRL fans, 9 weeks left in the round robin season then. This is it. If you want to make a finals push, it's got to start now. What will it take to make the top 4? Can we call that already and say that those that are there now will still be there by season's end? How many of the top 8 as it sits are truly playoffs bound? Who's still in for the ride? Who's left playing for pride? The table as it stands right now in this order: Raiders, Storm, Dogs, Warriors. There's your top 4. Broncos, Panthers, Dolphins, Manly make up the 8. Roosters and Sharks sit just outside the 8. They're on the same points as the 2 sitting 7th and 8th. Here come the numbers. There's a fair bit to take in, so listen close. 9 rounds to play. Everyone plays 24 games in total. You know that. Over the last 4 seasons, the minimum total of wins needed to make the top 4 is 16. So let's assume it won't be any less this year. The Raiders have already won 14 games, including the last 7 on the trot. 7. They are in. 2 more needed from their next 7. They are a lock for a top 4 spot. We know that. Storm and Dogs have 11 wins, Warriors 10. All 3 teams have 9 games left, meaning the Storm and the Dogs need to win 5 of those 9 to make it. For the Warriors, the magic number is 6. Dogs and Storm, I believe, have enough form, class and squad depth to do. So add those 2 to the Raiders. I think we can set those 3 in stone. For the Warriors, the draw is very favourable. 5 at home, win those home games, nick 1 on the road, and we should also be in. The Broncos in 5th would need, according to these numbers, to win 7 of their last 8. The Panthers, all 9 of theirs to make 16 wins. The Panthers do have a draw, but I'm just going on the 16 win figure. The 4 teams on 20 points, Dolphins, Manly, Roosters and Sharks, they're the same. That means they'd have to win all their remaining games to make the top 4. It isn't going to happen. So scrub all them and just look at Brisbane and Penrith. Those are the 2 teams the Warriors are fighting off. The Wars need to win 6 of 9 to make 16 wins. As I said, Brisbane 7 of 8, Penrith every single game remaining. The odds, the mathematics, the optics, the metrics have to favour the Warriors here. Yes, it's possible for the Broncos and Panthers, but statistically I'd say improbable. What I'm saying is worry not, Warriors fans. Everyone at the club knows there's still a hell of a lot of work to do. They're taking nothing for granted. None of these wins will be easy, but given 6 of the opponents are Tigers, Knights, Titans, Dragons, Titans, Eels, those are all very winnable games, and that's the key to cement a top 4 finish. The recipe to me is quite simple. Beat the teams the Warriors are clearly better than. It's not about needing to go on any sort of a run. Just win the games that should be won. Do that starting this Sunday, home Tigers, and it's job done.
Devlin.
Tied 5 times.
Tied 5.
5 separate sporting topics, Lachlan. We're not going to muck around. We're going to whip through these. Scott Barrett gone for the second test. Wian Mulder. How magnanimous a gesture. He didn't want Brian Lara's record. Who's winning Wimbledon? Do the Warriors stay top 4? And Origin 3 Brumbies Lions tomorrow. What you got?
Tied 5.
Scott Barrett, second test, out, being rested that Achilles. Is that a big worry for the All Blacks?
No, not at all. Because we have plenty of depth in that position as far as I'm concerned. Think about the bloke who wasn't involved in the match day 23 last week. Patrick Tuipulotu.
Yeah, he can slot straight back in.
Yeah, Fabian Holland played very, very well. Is it Fabian or Fabian?
I've
heard some people say Fabian.
Yeah, I'll say Fabian.
Fabian sounds kind of cool.
Sounds more Dutch, I think. Yeah.
So Fabian Holland, of course, had a really good game. Nothing flashy, just did his work, workhorse. And then, of course, Tuipulotu can play lock if we need him to. So, no, I think we're fine.
Have to rest Scott Barrett. Make sure
yes, there's much more important tests coming up.
Exactly.
Focus
right.
on having him ready for those.
Wimbledon, Sinner got lucky today. He was 2 sets down to Dimitrov.
Very lucky, God.
And then a pectoral muscle issue and the guy withdraws. So who wins it from here? Sinner will be just breathing a huge sigh of relief. You've got Alcaraz on the other side of the draw. Sinner plays Shelton next. Is it between those two in the men's side?
Yeah, I think Djokovic will have something to say about it. Not because he's Novak Djokovic and he's probably the great, well, at least by the numbers and the stats, the greatest men's tennis player of all time.
Probably is, yep.
But also because he's, I think, a bit of an underrated performer on grass. I think he can. Is he tied with Federer? He's won off Federer's record. Yeah,
7 he's won, same as.
Yeah, so he can actually then break that tie with Federer, and we know Federer is the best. You know, we talk about Djokovic is the best on hard, Rafa's the best on clay, Federer is the best on grass. Well, Djokovic is about to pass Federer on grass, so we don't really talk enough about how good he is on grass. So he'll have something to say about it, and he obviously came back from a set down, I think, against Emmanuel this morning, which is very good. Alcaraz, I think, is probably the. Can you use the term pace setter in tennis? I guess you can. But he's probably at the head of the field when it comes to current players in form and how good they are on grass. So I'd probably lean towards Alcaraz being the favourite.
Okay, I still think it's a him and Sinner final.
I don't think. I think
such a big call, really. I mean, they're the 2 top seeds.
Yeah, but look how close Sinner came to losing this morning.
Yeah, and look how close that Sinner got to him on clay, though, in Paris.
Well, he was up 2 sets to love, and then he lost it. Right. Okay. So he choked it more than. Anyway.
Top 4. Do the Warriors stay top 4?
This weekend's tricky.
Right till the end of the season. I did the numbers at the start. I said 16 wins gets you there. So win 6 out of 9.
Does it?
Well, it has over the last 4 seasons.
It doesn't mean it will now.
Well, okay, but if we're looking at the last 4, the metrics say, as we always look at the top 8 and go, you need 13 wins pretty much.
Well, in 2021, 10 wins got you 8th. In 2022, 13 wins wasn't enough for the Broncos to finish 8th.
But let's work on 16, because over the last 4 seasons, 4th place has had 16 wins.
So the Warriors are 10-5 currently?
10-5.
Now, they are... I hate looking at the points because you get points for the bye, and some teams have had their byes already, some teams haven't, of course. The points, don't worry about the points, worry about the record. The Warriors are 10-5, Brisbane are 9-7. So the Warriors are like 1.5 games better. Brisbane obviously have a bye, Brisbane are just behind them in 5th. They've got a bye to come, not this weekend, but next weekend. But the Broncos are also going to be winning this weekend. They've got the Titans. So they're not losing that.
Warriors have got the Tigers.
So the Warriors have the Tigers. They've got winnable games coming up, yes.
They have.
But it's a testing period of sorts because you've had a week off. Obviously, the Metcalf injury is devastating.
Coming off a couple of losses.
Yep. You now need to start building some form. You need to prove to the rest of the comp that you're not just any ordinary team.
Next 3 games are absolutely
got an inflated
crucial.
record. You've got to
Tigers,
prove your credentials.
Nights away, Titans
You've got to beat the teams you should be beating. Because you lost to 2 teams that are good sides, but you're higher than on the table.
That's right.
So you could argue that you should have won those. So you've got to just start winning. Don't worry about the rest of the teams around you. It doesn't matter. Brisbane will fall over at some point.
Well, they're going to have to win 7 of 8 to make it, I think, into that top 4.
Well,
16
you never know.
wins,
The Warriors could collapse, and history doesn't really mean a lot. It means it's like when people go on
it's
about.
all we can base it on at the moment.
No, but people go on about like teams
who
who've conceded 50 points in a game can't win the premiership. Well, that's stupid. Yes, you can win the premiership if you've conceded 50 in a game. But anyway, point is, Warriors need to start winning some games. Don't worry about Brisbane. Don't worry about Penrith. It doesn't matter. Worry about yourselves.
Just win, baby. Yes. 2 to go then. Origin 3 tomorrow night, Brumbies Lions tomorrow night. 2 games on. What are you choosing?
Well, I like rugby a lot more than rugby league. I love the NRL, but when it comes to the sports themselves, I prefer rugby, and I love the Lions. I love the Lions series. I think it's a wonderful festival of rugby. I like it more than the World Cup, to be honest. Unfortunately, though, because it is an Origin decider,
It's a decider.
I will be watching that, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
it.
now if it was Lions Wallabies.
I'd be recording one.
I'd probably be watching
have
that
to
and
watch
have one on a smaller screen.
Because it's the Brumbies and because these are weakened sides, these Super Rugby sides in
and
Australia.
in the great scheme of things, they don't matter.
It doesn't really
They
matter.
don't
I mean, I think all of us are following this tour, trying to figure out what Lions side is going to front up against Australia on Saturday week. And most of these guys that play the Brumbies, they're then going to be rested for the weekend against the combined side and have a full 10-day break or whatever. So, yeah, I'm origined up. I have to be origined up.
Now, if it wasn't a decider, obviously, I wouldn't
if it was
really
a
care.
dead rubber.
If it was game 1 or 2, I'd probably actually still watch the Lions. Would I?
No, see, I'd be watching the Origin,
But I'm watching Origin, absolutely. Yeah.
Blockbuster, who wins it? It's so close.
I think
now.
Queensland. Now,
God,
granted,
they can't
I'm
come
more
back
of a Queensland fan. I just think they will. I just think the manner in which they blitzed New South Wales in the first half of game 2. Granted, if Lomax and Cleary had their kicking boots on, New South Wales would have won that game. But I just lean towards Queensland. I don't know. It's just a gut feel.
Final topic then.
Which you're feeling too. Deep down,
I'm
you know
worried
it.
now. I
you
was
know
talking
it.
3-0 at the start
You
of
know
the
it.
series. I'm worried now. It was at the Cameron Munster thing.
Yep.
Final topic. Wian Mulder. Does this define magnanimous? The guy was on 367, not out. They're playing Zimbabwe. They are going to win this test match regardless. They've already bowled Zimbabwe out once in about 30 overs or something in their first innings and made them follow on. And so he decides he doesn't want to take Brian Lara's ultimate test match record of 400 not out. And he says, we declared 626 for 5 because I don't want that record to take it off that legend called Brian Lara.
This is this bloke's first innings or first test as captain as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
How many times does anyone ever get the chance in their life to own a world record at anything? Then you talk about being a professional sports person, owning a record that would probably stand again for at least another couple of decades like Lara's, because trying to hit 400 in a test, your opponent's got to be pretty crap to start with. You've got to have the batting time. You've got to have at least a couple of days to do it. And he's decided no. And he's obviously, I mean, there's no way he's 360. He's not going out. He's getting that record, isn't he, if he wanted to. But he decided not to.
Yeah.
And he made the point that I don't want to take his record.
I like that. It's certainly not a gentleman's sport, cricket. There's a bit of a facade going on that some people think that it is. It's not, but there's an example of there's some nice personalities within the sport. I mean, remember when what was it that came up? There was all this debate around the Mancad that resurfaced a year or two ago, and everyone's going on about it's not in the spirit of cricket and all
What
this. And
spirit of
exactly,
cricket?
we're all like, there is no such thing as this
I've
sport.
been cheating since W.G. Grace picked up a bat.
Exactly, but this little moment here, it's just a nice little.
Doesn't happen very often
no.
in life and sport or anything.
It's a rarity.
We
but
salute you, Wian Mulder.
This is the DSPN.